what's up everybody, and welcome to yet another exciting episode Iya Power Connect. Panon Power TV mletambira pa DStv channel 278, GOtv channel 19. Allow me to introduce, my name is Suecey Chigelo Chaku Kopala. Kopala. Please join the Power TV family by simply following us on our social media platforms. They follow about Power TV Zambia, Facebook, Instagram, and on X. Like any other episode, I get to connect with people that are within the creative space. On today's episode, today akopa Livingi, where we have Moniq, the dancehall cream. She's going to be my guest on today's episode. She's very well established in Livingston. However, some of you might be meeting her for the first time on Power TV. So please, if you have some questions for her, do send them through. She's into the dancehall sphere. So we're going to be finding out the dancehall scene in Livingston, the music scene in general, and how she's faring. And also, she does have some new music that's on the way. That and more is coming up on the show. So be sure to keep it power. Moniq Styles at Happy So. On the other side, she's going to be joining me in studio, Muchimunzi Nizi. Welcome back. My guest on today's episode, I did say in my intro, is the dancehall cream all the way from Livingston, Moniq Styles. Pew, 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 pew. Wagwan.
Wagwan, yeah. You good?
It just had to be, just there. But you know what? I'm so amazed. Like when I speak to people who are in the dancehall sphere, like the space and how you guys are so intentional about learning how to speak patois, the culture and all of that. So before we get into your music journey, I just want to know where you draw your massive influence, or even before you started your music.
So my massive influence is in Botswana. So that's why actually when I did my first single, that's why I landed myself. When I dropped Dropping at the Eye. So I did my first performance in Botswana. I have huge and massive following. And then I have Jamaica also, which I have these big guys that are actually helping me in promoting the brand. Then I have the USA, I have Australia, I have Ghana on board now. I also have Uganda. It's
been great.
Yeah.
It sounds good. It sounds like Moniq is an international brand. But you know what's interesting? Wakamba, there's America, there's Ghana, there's all of those countries. And Zambia is not
on the list.
It's not on the list. So I want to know why it's not on the list, and also just talk to me about the dancehall culture in Zambia.
Let me start with the dancehall culture itself. I think when it comes to the dancehall culture in Zambia, it hasn't been really, elevated or really put in much consideration, because I feel dancehall is all about just the beat itself, but not the culture itself.
Yeah.
So most people haven't really embraced the culture, because dancehall and reggae cousins, I would say. So they are cousins. Yeah. So when it comes to the genre itself, people don't really like to actually marry themselves to that, unless if it's, in the club, just dancing and banging to it. But when it comes to embracing our very own people that are doing the culture, the dancehall culture, it's more like they call you as a copycat or somebody who's just trying to embrace, other people's culture. So it doesn't really work out on my side. I don't know about others, but it doesn't really work out on my side, because for me, I'm more deep into the patois and actually the original culture itself for dancehall.
Yeah.
And I would say for it's this TV.
No, listen.
Okay, so being female also has really been a challenge for me. I don't know about the rest, but for me it has really been challenging, because mostly in the dancehall part, it's not really dominated here. So when I try to marry myself to the other countries, females are not really appreciated, because they feel women are not really supposed to actually be in that kind of genre. They always marry us to the dirty version of it. So dancer is not really about dirtiness itself. You can talk about love, you can talk about happiness and all that, but mostly when I'm a person say, oh yeah, that's an artist, I'll be like, yeah, like, okay, so can you twerk?
Give me the chan. Yeah.
Yeah, so it has been quite an interesting journey. I've come to learn a lot. It has actually also landed me in so many hands that up to date, up to now, I'm really very much appreciative.
Okay, so something that you mentioned when you were explaining to me is that dancehall culture, they really think you're trying to be a copycat of what exists in another country. What would you say dancehall is?
Dancehall is the language. It's a culture in its own, but I feel like these are brothers and sisters that we lost, during the slavery, and for them, they really actually consider themselves to be more African than actually as we are counting them to be foreign. So I feel it's dancehall. Let me say patois itself. That it's a language that was built, to communicate in the time of the slavery. So it's something that they didn't want, the slave masters to understand.
To understand.
Yeah. So it's a mix of English. It's broken English, I would say. So it's kind of really bent. So it's something that they developed so that they can communicate secretly to themselves. So I feel like it's actually us. It's the same as Bemba, Tonga. This is something that, this is whites can't really understand. So it's a language that was built for them. So the dancehall culture for me, it's African.
Yeah.
It's actually connecting us to the people that we lost during those times.
Okay, that's interesting. So to kickstart the show, I started the show with one of your songs. So from about 3 years ago, it's called Happy Soul. What does that song remind you of? We're in 2025 now, and obviously there's been a lot of growth when it comes to you as an artist also. Just reflecting back at the time, what does that time remind you of?
Happy Soul, the time it was actually released, I was still kind of being brought up and nurtured in dancehall. So it actually reminds me of the time that I met up with Culture Heights on socials. He was very accommodative, very kind. He actually calls me sis, my little sis. So I met him on the socials. We started chatting, and I came up with the concept. He accepted it and said, "Okay, let me do one or two things on it." So he jumped on it. We did a track, and then massively actually went and gave it to DJ Treasure. So this is a renowned DJ. He actually does mix compilations and mix songs. So this is very huge. So I was featured on that compilation, with all these big Jamaican artists.
Yeah.
It was really, really interesting for me. We've been working, and one thing I actually learned from him was that, despite personal issues, because, us as human beings, we love combining work with personal. So one thing he told me, don't actually mix in your personal issues with work. Sorry, I've confused my talking. No,
it's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
So he told me not to mix actually my personal issues with my music, because the distraction in between is actually massive, and I actually think, because when I put in much of my personal issues. At some point I did that. I put in my personal issues into the music. It actually had to draw me back.
What song is that? What song is that?
Okay, so there are also actually 2 singles that I'm dropping now.
Yeah, I saw that. I know we're gonna get. Also, in one of the songs there's that.
Yeah, this is, love. Love is a problem. Love is a huge problem. So I don't,
superstar.
It's some family issues, but I don't want to talk about that. So getting back to Culture Heights. So he has also landed me to working in with a couple of DJs in Jamaica. And I actually also got to meet Brainstorm Forward from the Aswad group. Yeah, this is a huge, massive guys. So my journey has been quite interesting.
It's been
a lot to talk about, and I'm actually my mind is I don't even know where to start from.
You know what? You have to take us everywhere. So I was looking at your profile and I saw that you're signed to NAF Respect. 20, you even put 28.1. Please talk to me about, because just reading the name, dance or like, are there artists outside that genre? But just talk to me about the record label itself.
So the record label NAF Respect actually represents, most people when they ask what is NAF Respect. So NAF Respect is not us giving the respect, but it's the respect that people give us and we give it in return. So 28.1, so it's kind of personal there.
Please explain it. 28.1,
so, my manager is my husband, so he's the owner of the record label. So 28.1, 28.
Yeah.
So we share the same birthday, 28th of November. And then, yeah, then one, we are one.
Nijala, boy, 28, what, you know, trying to balance it out. But there's something awesome that I saw that people that are within the culture, the dancehall culture, reggae, came together. Talk to me about what happened at 54 African Mamas. What is that?
So the 54 African Mamas basically is a group that was founded by the late Lucky Dube's backup vocalist.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So we have Nozipo, Polizile, and Mami Tonic. So Mami Tonic has been the longest outstanding Lucky Dube's backup vocalist before he passed on. So they came up with this initiative. It was started by Lucky Dube. He started a movement where he wanted to actually advocate for women in the music.
Oh, nice.
You know, they're abused. So after his passing on, they continued and then named it the 54 African Mamas. So we have like 27 countries, but in Zambia when we launched it, that was last month. Yeah, we had about 9 countries that actually came through.
Okay, that's really nice. I used to listen to like a doing so Nine just count me as a part of the culture. Who has massive or has had a massive influence on you musically, also when it comes to sound as an artist?
So I've usually had to look up to, you know, the Lady Soul, Spice. Before actually she was well known, Queen Omega herself. Yeah, so I do my research. Yeah, so that was before she actually came on the scene. Also Patra. Patra's been a very good, massive, you know, influence on my music because her music basically talked about, you know, self-empowerment and women empowerment itself.
Yeah.
So she's one queen that actually never took a defeat as a woman. So she has really influenced my music. But when it comes to currently, I also look up to Shazia. She's new, but she's really made it massive.
Yeah.
She hasn't really given, you know, the socials a breathing space.
Yeah.
It's everywhere. She's there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I usually look up to these guys. They are really giving me the inspiration that I need because, you know, these are women in the music and they're fighting their way out.
Okay. So who in Zambia, who are the other women that are within the space? Like the dancehall space, who would you say have also had a massive influence on the culture? Because I see people who would do a song that's a dancehall song, but maybe not really push the culture that it comes with.
I would say the Diva Out. I've been listening. I've been listening to the songs. Quite interesting ladies. Yeah, very powerful. The vocals so on point. The only thing is that they haven't really been embracing much of. I know how it is. Zambian music is very demanding. Like when you don't actually fuse in with a Zambian, then you're not really considered as, you know.
Zambian, so charge it dilute at a certain point.
Yeah. So, but you know, I feel they can do much more if they would just, you know, fully embrace the dancehall culture itself. But they're really good. Who else? Wow, I think it's just the Devils.
Really? Wakazi kulib. But you know what, speaking about collaborations, you've worked with a couple of artists within the Zambian space, and I specifically want to talk about one collaboration, right? And I don't become biased, but also I'm not ashamed. I'm such a huge fan of Tishon, and he's somebody that you've worked with. He calls himself the dancehall daddy, and we've seen what Tishon can do on the beat and when he goes the dancehall way. How did that collaboration come about?
It was through my manager. So we went at Stimac studio. Stimac actually, we were from the same city.
Really?
So I knew him way back. So yeah, before he came here to Lusaka. So we called him. We went and visited his studio. So we were asking to see who we can do a collaboration with. At first, he gave me J-Rocks. We called him. He was out of town.
Ah. Okay.
Yeah. And then he gave us Tishon. So Tishon was a little bit busy, so I had to just drop my verse and my chorus. I left, he came and did it. But unfortunately, we couldn't do the video together due to his own personal reasons.
So you didn't do the video because...
No, the video I did.
So he couldn't be in the video because...
I don't know. I don't want to say. I don't want to. I don't want to be dramatic.
So you reached out and you said, "Hey, big man, I want you to be in the video. I want us to shoot."
Yeah.
And it just didn't happen.
Unfortunately, it didn't happen.
Tishon. But you know what? Moving on, you're about to drop 2 singles.
Yeah.
And you did say that, oh, they're coming. You've starved your fans for a little bit, but you know what? The cream is back on the scene. Talk to me about the 2 singles that you're looking at dropping.
Yeah, so I'm dropping Love Strike. Also,
I'll strike it in a post. We want up a screen.
So I'm dropping Love Strike and Bob Marley t-shirt. So I'll start with a Bob Marley t-shirt. Bob Marley t-shirt is actually marrying into the reggae culture itself. You know, it's one way of appreciating the legend. I've had a couple of people asking me why we always have this, you know, the reggae events and why we always put Bob Marley, you know, in forefront. But I think there's one thing that people really need to understand. He fought for the revelation of the reggae culture itself. It started a long time, but I think he's one that actually, you know, made it possible for everybody to actually pay attention and know what reggae is all about. You know, it's all about one love, peace, and all that. Yeah. And he actually forced his way into, you know, the white people, which, you know, that's there's so much to talk about. You know, he fought his way in, and at least. You know, the whites had to recognize to say it's a culture on its own, it's a religion on its own, and much appreciated to him because he really did his best. Yeah, yeah, he did. Okay, so that's the direction the song is taking, because that's an interesting title. Bob Marley t-shirt. So we're talking about you know, a reggae fan who's just looking for this legendary t-shirt. All I want is just to wear the Bob Marley t-shirt. I'm looking for one t-shirt. Yeah, so basically that's what it's all about. It's, you know, a group of people just looking for a Bob Marley t-shirt and asking where they can find one because you know, they're just trying to, you know, give their appreciation and also feel part of the movement that's still going on. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, then we have the second one. Love Strike. Yes, Love Strike. I mean, it was at post I that up at screen. Love Strike is like, yeah, come on, girl. So, Love Strike, it talks about, like me here with you. So, sorry, I don't want to sound gay or lesbian. But, okay, just for example, so it's like, I see you for the very first time and I'm like, wow, I'm stricken with the love. Like, it's you I've seen. Oh, so it's more like love at first sight? Love at first sight. Ah, yeah. Okay. So like each time I'm with you, I'm just like, I'm there. I'm just falling in love every second and every beat of it. Yeah, it's not much, but it's quite an interesting jam. Very, very interesting. I think different from what I have done so far. Yeah. Okay, so for both songs, when do you intend to drop them? So we're planning for next month or the other month. Because we really want to drop them with a video. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So also what I notice is that a lot of people in Livingstone know who you are, and also they vibe to your music. When we speak about artists from Livingstone, they appreciate you as an artist from there. So how would you say it has been, just being in Livingstone and also just trying to push outside Livingstone? I would say it has been very challenging for me because, you know, I'm one of their own. Yeah. Yeah, the town is small, so they get to see me everywhere when I'm even actually doing my own side hustle. Yeah. You know, pretty much convincing them that it's me on stage, aside from what they usually see. it's been
Do you
quite
feel like there's like a sense of familiarity?
yeah, I get that a lot. I'm like, she's the one. We'll meet her on the streets.
For real?
But
Yeah.
I think it also, this is where the art actually comes in also. It's about how you actually represent yourself when you're on stage, how you get to do your performance and all that. I think they've always had a very challenging moment with me when I'm around.
Really?
Yeah. So I think I've dominated. I would say so. I've dominated, and I've really made sure that I'm the outstanding queen behind living star.
Come on, girl, just say it with your chest. But before we get to quickly wrap up, because we're running out of time, just your plans for 2025, and also for somebody that's hearing about Moniq Styles for the first time, why should they listen to you? Just tell them about your music and also where we can find your music.
So my plans for 2025 are huge, massive, friendly, also very entertaining. Planning on working on so many, like the 2 singles I am dropping. So I'm planning on also dropping on some other songs that I'm working on, still working on in the studio. And I'll be traveling a lot this time.
Yeah?
Yeah. I have a couple of shows, and I also have this 54 African Mama that I have to go and represent. So I also want to say you can follow me on my socials, Moniq Styles. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. And to everyone that's listening to me for the very first time, this is Moniq Styles, aka the Zambian dancehall cream, the baddest of them all.
You know what, Moniq Styles, thank you so much for stopping by Papa TV. Bueno. Otherwise, we always love to listen to new genres, artists on the scene, those that want to push beyond borders. We're so grateful that you took some time out to come.
Thank you so much for having me, and thanks to you. I had to travel all the way for you.
I know, she had to travel all the way. That's, that's how much she just felt like, Valusaka Papa TV, let me show you some love. But also, please do show the love back by streaming her songs. Visit every digital streaming platforms. Follow her on social media. Otherwise, to end the show, we're going to end with Moniq Styles. I want to end with, should I play the one with Tishan? Which one? Okay, tell us, which one should I end with?
No, with Tishan.
Just tell me.
No, with Tishan. I want him to hear that he actually missed out on the video.
Okay, so this is the one that we're going to end with. Please, this conversation continues. That is Power TV Zambia, Facebook, Instagram, and on X. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you so much for watching. Here's Moniq Styles featuring Tishan. Mucho Monzanishan.